cross-examination, and he's been under close scrutiny by the Crown's forensic psychiatrist, who's also expected to testify next week.
How to avoid a major financial crisis at Christmas time. That is the focus of tonight's NewsHour Insight. Here's Deb with some timely information.
Yes, and it's good advice too, Chris. Having your debit card canceled by the bank because it's being compromised is always a pain, but never more so than during the holiday season. And so it is all the more important now as we count down the shopping days till Christmas to make sure you know how to protect your card and your money. Linda Aylesworth reports.
Tis the season to hit the mall, but be careful out there, because while this is supposed to be the season of giving, there are real live Grinches among us who are all about taking.
Probably the last thing they're thinking about is debit card fraud, but it should be one of the things that are foremost on their minds, because this is the time of year when fraudsters will take advantage of the fact that it's the busy shopping season.
Adrian Holloway is one of many who have or will be inconvenienced, at the very least, by debit card fraud. His card was recently compromised and had to be shut down by the bank.
I was quite fortunate from the fact that nothing actually got taken out of my account, so yes, I was fortunate from that aspect. For me, though, it was a real pain just because I live off my card. I'm not a person who normally carries cash until now.
Only 1 in 10 shoppers prefer to use cash, which means 90% of us are at risk. So how does one protect themselves and their account?
You have to be aware of people that are in line behind you to ensure that they're not looking over your shoulder at your PIN.
And if someone gets too close?
The respectful thing is to ask them simply to move back a bit, right? Because you need to shield your PIN to protect it so that they can't see it.
Fraudsters can also get your PIN number by using little cameras hidden behind things like privacy screens that they, not the bank, set up. So don't use any ATM machine that looks altered. Another tip, memorize your PIN number.
You should never write your PIN anywhere. If you do put your PIN number on the back of your card, then you will be held liable for those transactions.
Time to move the lesson to a store.
Put your hand when you're composing your PIN to ensure that nobody sees it. You want to make sure the device is securely attached to the counter, for safety reasons, evidently.
So no one could lift this out?
That's right.
That's how legit PIN pads are swapped for tampered ones. Another thing, if a cashier takes your card, which you want to avoid, keep your eye on it.
So sometimes a cashier might have a compromised device, out of your sight?
That's right, or in his pocket, and be able to copy the card and then install maybe a PIN or pinhole camera and then steal your PIN that way.
The fact that a growing number of debit cards have chips in them helps, but experts say you should always be vigilant.
We don't want to be Scrooged over Christmas.
So adorable there. As the use of debit cards grows, so does the cost of debit card fraud. The Canadian Debit Card Company Act says that last year, this country's consumers lost more than $142 million to debit card fraud. That is up nearly $40 million, or almost 40% from the year before. Back in 2008, debit card customers who had money stolen from their accounts were reimbursed by the banks and other financial institutions across Canada to the tune of some $104 million. Now, if you find a debit charge that you know you didn't make, you don't have to prove that it's not yours. It's up to the bank to work that out. And banks and financial institutions will usually cover any losses if you've taken the appropriate steps to protect your card and your personal identification number. So, yeah, be very careful out there, Chris.
And if you see a charge you don't recognize, ask your wife about it, because she probably knows. I hope Jane's not watching.
I think she will be.
She might be. All right, thanks a lot, Deb. Appreciate it. You know, for many people, it's the only hot meal they ever get. The Union Gospel Mission has been serving up soul food on the downtown east side.